Right. I will not have any more complaints about Monaco being a boring race from now on. From anybody, including myself. Don't let me hear anybody saying that Monaco is a boring race anymore. There is so much to unpack from this race, so you better strap yourself in. If you haven't seen it yet, here's your spoiler alert. Results and details of the race are incoming. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's jump into it. Where do we even start? Max Verstappen out of the race within the first lap. Didn't even move off the starting grid until the whole pack had gone past him. Engines failing harder than a Jeremy Kyle show lie detector test. Constant pit lane speeding penalties, too many to even count. 2 safety cars. 1 red flag, the track surface just crumbling to pieces, Russell getting lapped by his 19-year-old teammate, Russell being given a drive-through penalty, Russell going up to the steward's office during the red flag, Cadillac got their first points as an F1 team, 7 retirements, the only real on-track overtake was by a rookie, and a new record was set by Kimi Antonelli with 5 victories in a row now. Whew! Jesus Christ. There was a hell of a lot of crap going on. And that's just the headlines. There was so much going on. So let's start with the fact that the FIA didn't exactly help with making the Monaco Grand Prix interesting. Taking away factors like active aero and the mandatory 2 pit stops, I won't lie, I thought it was going to be completely crap. But not to worry, because Monaco delivered. And it proved that you don't always need loads of overtakes to make an interesting race. Don't get me wrong, after the first few laps, I was fully ready to sink myself into the sofa and get ready for 70 odd laps of nothingness. But that didn't happen. Let's start with Max Verstappen's disaster of a start. It's such a shame. There's no way around it. The lap that he put in for qualifying was mega, and I would have loved to have seen the battle between him and Antonelli around Monaco. We were unfortunately robbed of that because of an engine failure. It looks like Ford have built an unreliable engine, with one car out of the race and another one suffering the whole way through. Hadjar was really lucky to have gotten that podium. I don't think he could have held onto it on any other track. And he also has the pit lane entry to thank for it, because George Russell had an absolute stinker. He was one of many who fell victim to the pit lane, getting himself a penalty for speeding. I heard Sky Sports commentary suggesting that something could have been wrong with the pit lane speed sensor, or that the drivers were being caught out by the lower pit lane speeds that Monaco has. Usually the pit lane speeds are 80 kilometers per hour, but in Monaco it's only 60. But when they spoke to Zach Brown, it didn't seem like there was any issues. According to him, their data did show that Piastri was speeding. So we can assume that that was the same for all the other teams as well. I've honestly never seen so many penalties for speeding in the pit lane. In fact, I've never seen so many penalties in a race full stop. Moving on to the track. Well, it disintegrated. That small new piece of tarmac that's right by the pit entry must have been done on a budget or something, because it just completely fell apart. It crumbled more than a Cadbury's flake. You would think that the money pot in Monaco for resurfacing would be pretty substantial, but apparently not. They must all be busy spending money on yachts and supermodel prostitutes. I do wonder if the track was extra bumpy this year or something, because it seems like the cars were being rattled to pieces. Engine failures were strife. Max and Norris, to name a few. I mean, that must have been pretty terrifying for Lando, losing power in the tunnel on a blind corner. Hadjar knows all about that. Right, let's get on to George Russell. My God, what a shit show for him. It might be early in the season to say this, but you've got to be thinking he's potentially already out of the title fight now. It would take some serious driving and some good luck to make up the 68-point deficit that he now has to Kimi. And he's also now third in the championship behind Hamilton. So you could think of it as both of Toto's drivers are running 1 and 2. But yeah, George did have an absolute stinker of a race. Stuck behind Hadjar for a good amount of laps. A penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which he then didn't serve when he came into pit during the safety car, which turned that into a drive-through penalty. And he can blame the team all he likes, but they told him to stay out. He made the decision to come in and they weren't ready. None of the pit crew were informed that they needed to wait 5 seconds before they touched the car. As far as I'm concerned, he's got to take the blame there. And then, during the red flag, he gets out of the car and goes straight to the steward's room and complains about it. Honestly, you can't write it. Oh, and just to mention, he was also lapped by his teammate before the safety car when Stroll crashed. So that was actually a saviour of pure embarrassment for him. Speaking of Lance Stroll, he's only gone and done it again. He brought the smoke to Monaco. Unfortunately, the smoke this time was his tyres scrubbing across the floor as he plummeted into the barriers though. But it might not actually be his fault this time, because Leclerc just a few laps later did the exact same thing, as we all saw. And what I love is how the stewards just have a safety car for Lance, probably thinking, standard Lance, crash him into the barriers. But when Charles does it, they're all like, hold on, something's not right here. Red flag, red flag. As sad as I was to see Leclerc out of the race because I genuinely thought he was going to do well, the good thing was that we got another standing race start, which Antonelli absolutely nailed again. He has fully converted me this weekend. No, not into a homosexual. I mean, as a fan and a believer. He's the real deal. He controlled the race from start to finish through safety car restarts and 2 standing starts. And not once did he put a single foot wrong. Nobody could get close to him. The good thing about all the chaos was that the camera crew didn't have time to film shots of all the drivers' girlfriends and Kim Kardashian in the paddock looking like mutton dressed as lamb, pretending to be interested in racing. No offence, Lewis. So Monaco once again had minimal overtakes. In fact, the only one that I can actually remember seeing was by the only rookie on the grid, Lindblad, now to be known as Lindlad, who actually finished the race without completing a pit stop. I didn't even know that that was legal. I think it's something to do with the fact that he changed his tyres during the red flag and somehow that counts. And it was also awesome to see Cadillac get their first ever points as an F1 team. Great work from Perez, although I'm a little bit concerned that sometime this week they're going to give him a penalty for being out of position on both the race starts. So, after 7 retirements and records broken for the youngest Monaco Grand Prix winner ever, and the longest winning streak from their first win in history, I'm not disappointed one bit by the Monaco Grand Prix. Even though the FIA tried their very best to make it a snooze fest, Monaco prevailed. If you've made it to the end of the video, thanks so much for watching. It really does mean a lot. As a brand new channel, it is obviously very difficult to grow a following on YouTube. So if you did enjoy this video and any of my other videos, please do go and hit the like and the subscribe button. It is the best way to support the channel. Cheers.